Howdy folks, this is Checkers back again with another Fallout 4 video. This time a backstage tour of the pre-war Commonwealth world of Fallout 4. So I want you to think of Sanctuary Hills as sort of a theater in the round. It's a stage that can be viewed from all sides, but it's really meant to be viewed from inside. We are going to take our tour behind the actual set pieces. We are going to go through some places we were never meant to go through. We are going to travel to places we were never meant to see before the emergency begins. That being said, this is not any sort of indictment on Bethesda. I'm not complaining about how the game is made. I've worked in theater for roughly 20 years, and I fully understand how sets work and the idea of facades, and I just thought it would be really interesting to take a look behind those scenes. As such, we will also at one point be going outside the theater, across the street, through the parking lot, and all the way out to the glowing sea. So I want to warn you in advance, there are no rock stars, there is no pyro, there are no flashy or exciting endings to this. We're going to see things that aren't going to be very pretty, and we're going to see things that may just very well be kind of interesting. So let's go ahead and get started with that, with first a request that I had a while back, and I'm sorry it's taken me this long to get to it. Someone asked me to show them the park that should be across the street from our house in the pre-war Sanctuary world. And if we cross that street, this is the house that would have the power armor station right about there. We can see that here in the post-war world is a place where you would find a swing set and some other equipment, but this is just a wooded area here in the pre-war world. And here is the house that is first across the street when you cross the bridge into Sanctuary in the post-war world. You would find a cooking station roughly about there, and we can clip through some of these houses so you can get an idea of what's inside them, which is actually nothing at all. They are facades from the outside only, and they're as beautiful facades from the outside, but there is nothing really inside them. I'd like to pay particular attention to this house. There is our starting house with the Vault-Tec van. If we come over here, behind this house in the post-war world is a bomb shelter. Well, let's call it a storm cellar. And the doors should be about here. I did a video on this particular shelter, but people often ask this question. So the doors would be here, and the shelter is probably not actually directly under the house even in the game, although it might be. The doors are probably a portal to the actual storm cellar. Here we can get a look at the rather fascinating structure beneath Sanctuary Hills, almost like train tracks. And we can come back up through the ground, and let's take a quick look inside our own house, where we can find Nora relaxing on the couch, Codsworth working in the kitchen, and Sean, in his larval state, wiggling around inside the blue crib. If we exit the house, we can head on over to Vault 111. Now, I imagine the black dome you see above the vault entrance is a trigger, probably when we cross the plane of that trigger, not in a no clipping mode, but in the normal game, we set off the cutscene of the explosion and the descent into the vault, which we can also do. So let's descend down into the vault, and there is a transition here that will take us to the vault floor, and if I get this right, I can actually get us down into Vault 111 in its pre-war state. Sort of pre-war. There are a few citizens in here. And you can see the Vault-Tec workers.
Just step over to the table.
Here, ready to help in
You'll
case
need
of
your
emergency.
suits before we can take you further.
And some more citizens being consoled by
Please,
those ever-loving
these people
Vault-Tec
need some space.
employees. Some Vault-Tec
Move along.
security. And
Do you have your suit?
the actual
Vault 111.
Such a lovely family you have. I hope you'll
We
see
can
this as your new
clip
home.
through and take a look at some of the other sections of the vault. But not all of it is here at the moment, which is, again, just fine. It's actually a rather lovely set. So let's go ahead and go back up through the transition, and then back up into Sanctuary Hills. We will pass up through the doors of the vault, get our bearings, and head over towards the Red Rocket. So, here is the lovely and intact bridge into Sanctuary Hills, the Minuteman Statue, ever vigilant, guarding the entrance to Sanctuary Hills. This is the vacant lot where the Red Rocket will be in the post-war world. And we can take a look at another feature, which is not actually here, but you could find it underneath the Red Rocket in the post-war world. Here is the water tower, which we can take a quick look inside of and pass on through. And there is the power line holder, power tower, I'm not sure what you call those, where the Abernathy farm will be in the future. The dish over there is USAF satellite station Olivia, which I believe can be seen more closely in my flying around pre-war Sanctuary Hills video. And in the distance we can see the skyline of Boston. So I will pause for a moment and speed up the video so that we can get there more quickly. Okay folks, we are here outside of downtown Boston in the pre-war Commonwealth world. We will take a look at some of these three-dimensional structures, which is actually more than I had expected. When I first came out here, I expected perhaps some 2D silhouettes, just something to look at from the distance, but these are actual simple 3D structures, but 3D structures nonetheless. And I believe this is the Mass Fusion building. I'm sorry, I don't actually know the names of the other buildings, but we can take a look around those as well. And finally, these here. Okay. Now, let's go ahead and take our bearings. So that is Sanctuary Hills and Boston. So the glowing sea should be roughly out there. I will once again speed up the video so we get there more quickly. Okay, and here we are in what I believe to be the edge, or actually inside of, the glowing sea. There is Boston in the distance, and we can see that while there is terrain here, there are no landmarks or features, nothing that we can particularly identify. I believe the edge of the map is just right there, the edge of that dark line and lighter line. But for the moment at least, the glowing sea appears to be completely empty. Although I do see a feature over there. I'm not entirely sure what it may be. It could just be an anomaly, but let's take a look. What do we have here? I guess it's just an anomaly of the terrain. Well, folks, I think that pretty much covers our backstage tour of the pre-war Commonwealth world of Fallout 4. Once again, this has been Checkers. I'd like to remind you that I now have a Twitter link in the description of the video and on my channel main page. I'd like to thank you for watching. I hope you found the video informative and maybe just a little entertaining. I'd like to invite you to subscribe, ask you if you would like to. Please click on the like button if you like the video, and ask you once again to please take care.